Thanks everyone for joining us on this quite interesting session. And you all know now the panelists, so I'll not waste your time again to reintroduce them. But today we are here to discuss a very important aspect of e-commerce. We all talk about the growth, but there is a lot of tradition involved whenever even we are talking about online channels, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the end consumers are the same. Many of us were buying purely offline brick and mortar format, but now we are either shifting completely or we are following a mix of brick and mortar and online, right? So tradition is extremely important part of it, right? Now, if you see, the growth of e-commerce recently, right? If the data needs to be believed, we are talking about around $39 billion industry e-commerce in India from 2021 moving to around 63, 64 billion 2023 to around 166 million by 2026 with a CAGR of approximately 31.13%. Now, if I see the CAGR, it's more than the overall retail growth. When we talk about, of course, India being the fourth largest. So I would like to understand from Samir and Natasha and Mriganki, particularly because you are the brands who are utilizing e-commerce or online channel a lot, right? As per your experience, what are the unique factors for your independent brand that are contributing towards its growth? And at the same time, you're keeping a balance with the tradition. Probably, I would like to start with you, Mriganki, on that.
So I think for brands like Colgate or the value add that e-commerce does in the categories that really exist, uh, the growth that drives, the reasons how it comes to be so high in CAGR is also the differentiation that comes in. I'll contextualize more with respect to those segments in which I have seen business very closely, whether it is Colgate or Nykaa when I was working and leading business in beauty segment. What we see is the way consumer behavior has shifted. From modern retail, now they are shifting to e-commerce. The interaction and adoption of internet is causing a lot of changes that have happened. What we see today is that currently around 350 million people are active on internet. And this is expected to grow to almost 750 to 800 millions by 2030. The From this particular base of internet users, shoppers would end up being around 60% of this particular segment. The influences how it happens, like why people are really using internet, why are they going more on e-commerce, is also because of the socio-dynamics that we see in the country. And also the tier one or the urban population, how it is growing and consuming. The gradual movement of rural population and adopting internet also is contributing to this. Uh, in terms of convenience, obviously, this has become one of the factors why people move from offline to online. How is the assortment which is available, where Kirana store would have restriction on how much they can carry on a shelf has attributed to this. Second, also would be that in terms of content, to understand and really search for the product, to understand what are the benefits that the product does, is very different and unlimited in e-commerce. Digitally, if I may add. So the touch points and the moments of truth for a customer today are many. So the influence factors happen not only in those big stores or really launching an app on Amazon or Big Basket and going and shopping. It happens in the micro moments. So today, the retailers and also the brands are able to capture those micro moments for them to convert on platform across the categories. And the categories that is driving this growth, earlier it was mobile phones and electronics, as high as almost 57 to 55% contribution was happening from these two segments until 2017. But now what we see is the CAGR of around 27 to 31% is coming from beauty, from personal care, from fashion. And by 2030, these categories will start to become dominant in contribution. Because this is what consumer today is looking like. There's a trend, social media is allowing a platform for people to be there on spotlight. So there is an increasing trend on, the way you use fast fashion, the way you use beauty. And also increasing number of categories have started appearing in the basket. Earlier in 2017, just for context, people would be comfortable to, add 3 products across 3 categories, for example, in certain cart. Now this has increased from that limited categories to as high as 7 categories in a certain basket. So that's the movement and the maturity of what we see today in consumers in the country.
Yeah, I think to summarize, you were speaking about the mix of population, changing their locations, geolocations. You're speaking about the different categories, right? And that is contributing, and the convenience also, right? Let me move to Sameer, who doesn't know about Big Basket. He doesn't need an introduction, right? And the specialty you are catering to a huge plethora of SKUs, or you want to name it as, technical or layman's term, right? Uh, as per your brand, and it's a very different business if I see from day to day, what are the factors that you'd like to contribute to this phenomenal growth of e-commerce?
See, I think when it comes to grocery, okay, so apart from grocery, if you take apparels, people have the freedom to take decisions at home, okay, but when it comes to grocery, it is the homemaker who takes the eventual decision, right? And if we have to cross that boundary, we need to qualify for it, right? And that's the biggest quality checker which we have. The biggest category which help us cross that boundary was our fruits and vegetables and staples, okay, because that's the category which is completely controlled by the homemaker. From beginning, from the inception, we ensured that we crack fruits and vegetable first, because it is live, right? It's a live product. It rottens, okay, it perish. So we ensured with lot of effort and using of technology and experience, we crack fruits and vegetable online delivery first, followed by staples, okay? Because in today's generation, nobody wants to stand in the queue and say, "Acha, ye wala chawal dena, wo wala dal dena, and 1 kilo sabzi dena, palak dena, ye kharab ho gaya, acha wala dena," and all those things. Nobody wants to do that. It's a waste of time for them. So we take that decision making of ensuring a good quality product delivered to your doorstep. Okay, and that's what today's generation want. They want a better quality with a less hassle. Okay, and was the initial thought when we started our business, to crack this thing first. Okay, once we do that, after that, giving more categories and working on other things has really helped us along. So this worked very well for tier 1. Okay, because it's more a standardized way of customer behavior. But when it comes to T2, okay, that was a different learning where the buying behavior of customers in each T2 works in a different way. Okay, a customer staying in Indore or Bhopal, the buying behavior of that compared to Nagpur will be very different. Compared to Ludhiana, it will be very different. Compared to Mysore, it will be very different. So then the entire planning, promotions planning, and using of tech to identify those set of customers was very difficult. And thankfully, we were able to crack it eventually. Because initially, we started using the same combination of T1 and T2, but that didn't work. So T1 has a separate strategy, T2 has a separate strategy. See, the USP of convenience is more in T1. In T2, convenience is not a USP, right? Because they have a leisure time. So convenience is not a USP over there. So you have to work on different attributes which will act as a USP in T2 cities. So that's all things are the factors which helped Big Basket at least to grow.
Right. I think, again, to summarize what you were talking about, taking care of the perishable commodities, so that I believe your unit economics work out, right, and you can go long term. We have seen players who burned out their oil, right, in this market. And second, I think that talking about a slightly differentiating the strategy for T1 and T2, right. And with that, I'll come to Natasha. Being Soulflower such a niche brand, right? I learned from you very interesting facts today about Soulflower. Would definitely like to understand that, as per you, is like social is so important factor, or the organic background is such an important factor. What are the factors that you will contribute to this growth, phenomenal growth on e-commerce?
Hi, thanks. So let me just tell you a little bit about Soulfla, and just so that you can understand the context. So we are a natural and organic brand. We specialize in hair growth, oils basically, and skin glow and skin brightening. And I don't think there's any person in India who doesn't want to have brighter skin and better hair, right? So my customer is everywhere, basically. Now the point is that, yes, the same customer in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, like he said, It's for me, honestly, it's more about reaching out to the customer, and that's what we were talking to him. I was talking to him about. Technology has helped brands like me to actually reach the customer and give them the aspiration to want to buy my product. So, I mean, I was just thinking while we were on the stage that what is the thing that you can get in every gaon, basically? I mean, a radio, right? Even Bollywood. I mean, I like to say I think in India, everything is Bollywood, right? Only Bollywood. And Bollywood भी maybe theater भी नहीं होगा गाँव में, पर radio तो होगा and you hear some Hindi songs, right? So कोई भी शाहरुख खान का whatever Rocky Rani का गाना you will hear in the village. But not necessarily every product that you're getting in Bollywood, in Mumbai, you will get in the village. Now, this is the power of technology for me. Okay, I could hear the songs of Shah Rukh Khan, I could hear the songs of Alia Bhatt, now I can actually buy the product that Alia Bhatt puts on her face. Now, this is how I think. So, so this is the basic aspect, I think. And let me tell you, money is not a factor. Like, I think for products like us, honestly, I think people in Mumbai are far more poorer. We spend too much money. Everything's so expensive, right? We don't have disposable income as much as the tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities also. And हमें लगता है गाँव गाँव गाँव, but let me tell you, I know we like to portray this thing as a nation of very poor people, but we are not. I think we are quite well off. Everybody, you go to smallest village and there are people who have the money and they want to spend. So I am surprised that somebody wants to buy a 400 rupees soap of Soulfla, and they do. So we get orders from a place like Babasa. So you'll be like, how does this person come to know about Babasa, right? I mean, how did the person in Babasa come to know about Soulfla? So we called her up actually. And what she said is that my daughter studies in Delhi. And when she came from Delhi, she bought me this soap, and it was an apple soap. So we have our own farm and we grow all our ingredients and then we put it into the products. So she said, we have apple orchards. And that is why I like your apple soap. And I use it, and she buys 10 and 20 soaps. And she likes, it's her me time in the bathroom, you know. That's what people like. So, I mean, it's not even fashion. So the way I look at it is like a skin and hair care product is not even fashion. You don't want to wear it and go out. There is no nightclub to go to anyway, na? So you just want to do it because you want to look good, you want to feel good about your hair and skin. That is why people aspire for the product. The second part of what I want to add is that how do they actually learn and understand? I think it's through social media. Everybody has Instagram. I see my maids looking at YouTube all the time. I used to have a TV for my maids in the servant room. They said, हमें TV नहीं चाहिए. They don't want TV. They're saying, हम अपने mobile पे देख लेते हैं. They have Wi-Fi and they see it. So they're seeing YouTube. This is how they're actually aspiring to buy the product. And this is what I was telling him, that I think social media and communities are being built, even Facebook. So maybe we don't use Facebook anymore, we are on Instagram, but there are people who have these communities on Facebook, and if it's mothers, so one person shares it and the other one wants to buy it, and it doesn't matter where she's living, but she wants that product. I think that is what technology has got us. Now, the second thing is that you actually see the video, you see the person using it, acha, and then you say, fine, I want to click the button, go through Instagram and go buy the product. That is how easy technology has made it for people. I think that's the thing.
Absolutely.
I think one thing is clear from the panelists, that at the center of their belief, the consumers are there. Now, if you're talking about the consumers, that's the other moving dynamic for this growth, right? Because when you're talking about e-commerce boom growth, the one side is the technology and the tradition, but the other side who are receiving it or rejecting it are your consumers, right? So I call them technically spirited, but yet traditional at heart consumers, you know. That's how I define them. Now, if you see the recent trend, around 54% in India talking about, user-generated content. If you're talking about around 47% says, particularly for traditional brands, right, which Harish you are kind of representing, is talking about, I want to look and feel the product before I buy it. That has gone to 47%, phenomenal. So with that, Harish, we would like to understand from you that what are the current consumer behavioral trends that you are seeing, particularly in in the commodities that you are into, right? And we know that you have also ventured into online, right? So are there any product specific categories that you are seeing, right? Whether it's a bridal or a non-bridal, right? Which you are seeing shipment from offline to online and then online to offline. And same, I know I would like to understand from Samir also, because of the variety of commodities that you deal in. Over to you.
Okay. So if I would say ki I think we have served approx 8 lakhs customer, that is by the offline. So I have seen the customer, how they behave, what they are looking for. So on my view, I would say ki why they are coming to offline. So we are more into the wedding wear, more into the premium wears. And we are so lucky ki we are actually on safe side now. So no one is going to online and buy the 50,000 ka ghagra, lakh rupe ka ghagra. Still they are looking for the, touch feel, main kaise dikhungi, main kaise dikhunga kind of things. So that is the best part of our, but yes, there is a big impact because of the online. So what I feel, why people come to our store, more of the, sensory kind of things. So touch, feel, we are serving them the chocolates, kind of, different music system in a different, bridal mein alag, casual mein alag, this all things. So, and definitely one-to-one service, one-to-one we assist them, now the time of the customer, not only satisfaction, it is time of the delightness of the customer. So I would say ki when we now we are going into the online. Now we are on all the brand.com as well as the marketplace, and I have seen the major journey of shifting the mindset. People from the offline to online, when they are going online, but going with the same mindset, it is very tough to survive. So what I suggest for the online, ki if we include all those things, definitely all the AI chatbots are coming, all the you will get a lot of within new feature, you will get a lot of assistance in the your online as well. So if the online we can add some sensory kinds of thing, like if I'm talking about the virtual rooms, how like हमारे यहाँ trial room है, people are coming and they are trying. So now people are coming with the virtual room in the e-com. So that would be one of the thing. What we need to cooperate in the, I would say in the e-com, yeah, on the marketplace. That is my view.
So, Big Boss is traditionally an online player, right? So we have seen still there are a lot of customers who don't want to go online, who want that touch and feel factor, right? So we thought of opening a physical store with a little technological advancement, okay? Because they're still our customers. We want them to shop online. So what we have done is we have opened a store which is unmanned. Okay, there's no people inside. Customer can come inside, pick whatever they want to buy, keep it in one bag, keep it at the counter. The counter will scan each product, whatever quantity it is, okay, and they'll bill it accordingly, and customer can just pick the bag and move out. Okay, so that's the kind of store we have opened. So it's almost 4 stores have opened now, 2 in Bangalore, 1 in Kolkata, and 1 in Hyderabad, which is in the initial phase. So we want customers to come over there, buy, take the touch and feel factor, and also use the technology. Okay, so it's not that difficult. They can still find the same product which can be delivered to their houses. Okay, but also available at the store. So if you want the touch and feel factor, come to our Fresho store. Okay, but and if you want online, buy online at Big Basket.
We will, if you can please hold it, sorry for that, we'll have some time for the floor question, yeah. But thanks for your interest, really appreciate. Yeah, so I think what we are learning from you and coming from, Harish, you from a complete traditional background brand and you from an online, is, that when you talk about the consumer behavior, it really depends from brand to brand, right? Whereas where Harish mentioned about the importance of touch and feel, the importance of human factor, which needs to be continued. And for you, it was like you're already online, but you still need to give that offline flavor, right? So touch and feel definitely is an important factor. Yeah, please.
So one thing I would like to add, what we did in our stores, we are doing, we have a form who wants to see, so there is a room. So people, our customer will fill the form. We have a special segment, morning say 10 to 2. they will have the access ki our people will show on the video calls. So, and the conversion of that, the premium product is awesome, especially USA, UAE. When we are doing it, we got amazing response. So that is one of the way. Second, what we did, ki we have a multiple stores in say in Delhi, in Maharashtra, in Madhya Pradesh, and it is very tough to keep a lot of inventories क्योंकि एक एक घाघरा महंगा होता है, एक एक शेरवानी महंगी होती है. What we did kind of omni channel kind of things. तो एक घाघरे का कलर रेड इधर है भाई, येलो नागपुर में है. What we did, yellow we show them the red and we show this yellow also available if you want. So आपने रेड तो फिल कर लिया, बट इफ यू आर लुकिंग फॉर द दैट येलो वन, वी बुक देन एंड देयर फ्रॉम द नागपुर स्टोर. वो नागपुर से हमको आ गया रायपुर, या से दिल्ली से आ गया हमको भोपाल, या भोपाल से आ गया जबलपुर. सो दिस हेल्प अस अ लॉट कि दे आल्सो कैन जस्ट चेक एंड दे कैन शो आल्सो कि भाई इतना मत दिखाओ, शो मी दैट रेड ओनली, शो मी दैट ब्लू ओनली. दैट आल्सो कैन बी हेल्प फॉर द अदर्स. थैंक यू.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing idea. A lot of retailers must have picked up this idea. You can basically charge the loyalty tomorrow. But yeah, I think moving the inventory as per the customer's directions, consumer's choice, that's really a phenomenal. I think today all the retailers are not doing a push inventories anymore. It's all about pull inventory, and I think your point proves that very well. Now, if I also see this growth, one side is the consumer, one side is the factor, the third side is we cannot negate the technology. That's the session, right, for today's discussion, balance. If the numbers are to be believed, I have around 1 billion smartphone users, the new gen users, around 125 million online shoppers added in last 3 years. Another 80 million are expected by 2025 in 2 years. So you can imagine the power of this digital economy and the digital consumer. So I would like to understand from again Mriganki first and then Samir, or you don't have to follow the chronological order. As per you, what are the technologies that you believe that are, for example, we are seeing a lot of augmented reality, virtual reality, even two new phenomena are coming: mixed reality and extended reality, right? And we in our company IATA, we are already having queries on that. So like to understand, is voice search something which is important, which is becoming important? Yeah, over to you, Mriganki.
I think when it comes to balancing of technology with the traditional retail or e-commerce, going forward in next 10 years, we would see drastic adoption. When it comes to augmented reality, we have already started seeing across the world how retailers on in offline stores are adapting their consumer experience such that the consumer can really see how that product will look in the real setup. So across various categories, I think because consumer are interacting with the brand on various touch points, whether it is social media, whether it is a retail store, or whether it is a online platform, or any other promotion, whether they are getting retargeted when you're browsing something on the platform. So on all these touch points, any which ways you are hounding a customer really to think about your brand and to buy it. Augmented reality, whether virtual, AR or AI, both of them really contribute and attribute a lot to conversions. What we've also seen, according to certain studies, that as high as 89% conversions have gone up when you start adopting AR in certain concepts of business. IKEA is one example for, you would just take your phone and scan a certain product. Maybe you place it in your drawing room and see how it really fits. So definitely there is going to be that merging of two realities when it comes to, balancing the real world and the virtual world. Going forward, it is definitely going to play a role. And I think I would rather not only restrict myself to talking about AR. For example, today, beauty would have adopted virtual, the filters which are there. How does a certain shade look on your lips? It has gone to the extent of skin analyzer. You would have a certain analysis of your skin which will come and, recommend the product. Second, recently there was a big, case study which was shared by Airbnb also, where they spoke about how these algorithms are really used to bring down the whole nuisance of party culture, which escalated for them from the owners and the neighborhoods while Airbnb was booked for parties, the weekend parties. So it's a matter of time as to how deeply impacted you yourself will find on day-to-day basis when these products are adopted. A small example, I'll just extend it even in apparel. These virtual measuring tapes. The biggest issue that any buyer would face online is if the product will really fit you or not, and especially for women. So how do you merge and bridge that gap of the measurement issue? I mean, obviously there are virtual trial rooms for which one would have to go to a store. But when it comes to app, either you have an app which just kind of measures it, bases the camera, and it gives you the output as to make to tailor, measure to tailor sort of a solution to it. So it's going to seep into all of that, and I don't think so anybody would have a choice to avoid it, because now the only handicap in this would be the cost, because augmented reality and all of these are very expensive tools. They are good to talk in platforms like this and look at big platforms or brand adopt it. But for mass brands, majority of the brands, it becomes very costly. So that inflection points need to come in, where the tech industry goes through a certain level of maturity where it is easily accessible to B class brand or A class brand, and not only the top notch A plus segment.
I think I appreciate your thoughts, and coming from a tech background, I agree with you, Mriganki. We saw what e-commerce priced us one day back, back in some years, 2014, 2013, and today you see it has become a commodity. I'm sure India's population, India's digital economy is very good in that. We will have AR, VR commoditized, and of course, consumers' demand will make it happen. Samir, from your perspective, where do you see this going?
See, I think with Big Basket, we already foresee this to be a bigger thing. So I'll tell you two things which we have done with respect to voice. We already have voice enabler on our app. Okay, so for example, there are a lot of products which is difficult to type, and it's a long word. Like I have to type Singhada. Okay, so I have to Singhada, and if the spelling is AI, then it becomes a problem, right? Singhada is easier to tell, and system captures that thing. Similar with respect to AI, we had done a project with Mondelez when we created an artificial store on our app, okay? So which is a 3D thing, which you can go inside the store, go on each shelf, select the product will pop up, you can see the features of the product, and you can add from the basket from there itself, okay, from the AI store itself. So we ensure that our app is ready with respect to the AI feature. So that in future, if you want to do it with multiple brands, we can create a store itself inside the app. If people want to browse and take that feel of shopping, they can do that thing. So we are making our app ready for the future now itself.
I agree completely, right? And who doesn't know the story of Tata Digital and how the Tata New, I'm sure many of us are already venturing into that world, right? And absolutely, I think AR, VR, voice search, mixed realities are becoming the more realities, right, today. Now, to Natasha and Harish, if you see, our e-commerce is enabling the brands to be agile, right? But there is a very strong traditional side also that we have been discussing already, right, in this forum. Now, what I would like to understand is that how do you feel an e-commerce platform, what today you have built up for your business, are being inclusive of that cultural part, right? Like, for example, if there is a feature, Natasha, on your e-commerce presenting brand, that if a woman goes there, she can start identifying herself with the brand, for an example, as a consumer. And similarly to you, Harish, also, if to be bride or to be groom is going to yours, to your website or to your e-commerce channel, how do they identify that cultural aspect? So my basic one-liner question, if I want to summarize, that how would you like your online channel to be inclusive of that cultural aspect?
I'll take it first.
Please go ahead.
Before I answer you, I'd like to, just speak about something that I was thinking. So I want to be the devil's advocate here, and all of y'all are trying to cheat me to buy your product, right? You make it look really fancy, and it looks very sparkly and very nice, and all the dresses looks fantastic. But when it comes to my house, it looks like crap. It looks like chindi kapda, So I am saying, as a customer, I want to use tech to make sure that I get what I want, I'm actually paying for. So for example, I'll give you an example. I'll tell you how I buy my clothes. I see the clothes I don't believe that dress that's looking, on that model. First of all, that model is size 0. मेरा 1 pound भी उसमें आना नहीं है, तो forget that. And it's photoshopped. It looks really fancy, right? I scroll down to the reviews and I see the images that customers have put. Okay, and वो customer को दिख रहा है. I can see that customer, she's a little podgy, she's got a little tummy. I also have a tummy, damn it. It's okay. So I can see that and I can actually see the fabric. And somebody is writing that it was very thin and I had to wear a slip and stuff like that. That makes sense to me, and then I'm like, okay, this is the fabric. I'm not taking this. This is important for me as a customer. I'm using tech as a customer to make sure that I am not being fooled by all you retailers. Now, when it comes to my product, what customer wants to know, say if I'm buying a hair growth oil or I'm anything for hair growth or a skincare, I want to know, does it work, right? How many creams am I going to put on my face? I can't put 10 night creams, right? I can't put 15 oils. I need to have 1 or 2 things. I can't use multiple things and say, acha 10 dresses khareed liye, ek acha hua to maine le liya. No, I need 1 product or 2 products to work. So I look for reviews. So I think what tech is helping customers do is find that reviews, find normal people. I can see their pictures, I can see their house, किसी का दरवाजे का polish खराब है, किसी का napkin लटक रहा है. I was seeing yesterday. This is normal people, they are not fake, they are not the influencers, because the pictures are normal pictures, right? I identify with that person. I see that person talking about his or her hair journey, whatever helped them. And then I'm like, okay, this may work for me also, right? So for example, on Instagram, you get a lot of DMs. So what I think is, for like a brand like us, skincare, hair care, it's like, see, every brand has a different message, I would say, or a certain convenience they're giving to the customer. He's giving a convenience कि आप घगरा चोली में, you can see how it is, right? Because, the video part of it, I really like that. That is the convenience. Now, I don't need to see how the toothpaste looks on my teeth, right? So her convenience should be, my convenience should be, I know Colgate, everybody knows Colgate, I want to just buy it. I just need to get it. For him, it should be that मुझे भाजी खरीदनी है, वो fresh आनी चाहिए, मेरे घर पहुंचनी चाहिए, right?
Right.
But for, like, say, a brand like mine, I need to know, does this work, first of all? If it works, कहीं से भी आ रहा हो, Bombay से आ रहा हो या Timbuktu से आ रहा हो, I want it because my hair is falling, I'm losing my confidence, I need my hair, right? And then I look for reviews. So this is what I'm saying. So it's important as a customer to find reviews, to understand whether it works. So we have, I think the most important thing at Soulfla or any skin and hair care brand is talking to the customer and understanding their issues. So I have people who DM me, and many a times they don't know, but they're talking to Natasha Tully. They don't know. They think it's a service, but it's me on the Instagram. And they're saying, so somebody's telling me, then she's saying, actually, it's my mom. She doesn't, she's having a hair fall. Will this work on her? Then you just don't say, okay, buy this product. And I see the difference, like, let's say, okay, buy this product and do this. No, you ask them their lifestyle. What is she eating? Is she stressed? I asked her, I said, is your mom stressed about something? She said, no, she's not stressed. Then we got down to what shampoo she was using and XYZ. So I think technology will help people like us when we can actually talk to the customer, converse with them. They tell us their issues. They do tell us, somebody is getting married. There is so many things. And like we were saying, I was telling you, 68% of my customer is men. They are very shy. They'll not go and ask. That's what I was telling them when we were chatting. I said, men don't go and discuss. Do you all discuss with each other? You're losing your hair. Do you? और मेरी स्किन थोड़ी डार्क लग रही है, वो लड़के बोलेंगे, तुम्हारे फ्रेंड्स बोलेंगे क्या लड़की बन रहा है तू, right? But why can't you have good skin even if you're a guy? So they are the ones who actually come and chat with us and talk to us, and I think that is what tech should be used by people like us to reach out to that customer, whether he's in a village or wherever. Did I answer your question, or did I just go everywhere?
No, I think the response from audience is.
I'm the rogue panelist.
No, I believe, to summarize what you just said, Natasha, it's all about empathy. You need to connect to your consumer.
Of course.
Technology is just an enabler. Technology is not the key thing that you need to achieve.
You have to understand your customer. You have to always imagine your customer. You should be able to see your customer in 3D. By profession, I'm an architect. And I used to, when I used to design homes and stuff, I used to always mentally in the night close my eyes and have a walk through to the place and imagine how it looks. Now I do that with my customer. So if you're my customer, I look at you and I wonder what she likes to eat. What is she drinking at night? What's she doing on her Saturday nights? I have to understand your life. And I think that's very important, to understand the life of the customer, whether he's in the rural area or the urban area. And I think, in fact, rural area, you know, it's much more important to understand them because we are all urban people. We are not from rural areas. So it's more of a study for us to understand and empathize with them. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, over to you, Rish.
Okay, I think very rightly said. What I like, the content has to be real, and that is the key factor for growing anything, your social media or anything. So there is one brand that is called Amchur. What we are doing now. So how we take, we will maintain the the same thing what is there in offline, either there in online. So we take care when we are selecting model. Now we started including including the families. जो हमारे top customer है, we are inviting them, we are doing a shoots and we are posting them. It works very well now in last 1 or 2 months. And what we need to take care कि there is a persona of every brand. If Amchur, it's in kurtis, casual kurtis. How we see, एक ये ऐसी brand है, कोई भी जब पहनेगी ना, she is so bold, she is the unique कि अब वो yawning भी कर रही है ना, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता बाजू में कौन बैठा है भाई. तो that is the personality of Amchur. What we did, हम उसी तरह की पिक्चर सेलेक्ट करते हैं, उसी तरह की टैगलाइन लिखते हैं, उसी तरह का कंटेंट बनाते हैं, वी आर पोस्टिंग दैट. सो व्हेन यू डू दैट, दैट कल्चर की, व्हेन people will see your product, whatever it would be, will come to your offline, your online, they will feel the same. And the biggest mistake what we are doing, we are selling the product, not the brand. So you know what is the result. So this is my view on that.
I think very interesting points. Now, we know that e-commerce thrives on factors like easy discounts, fast delivery, convenience, and etc. Right? At the same time, and I could see some of my panelists and audience smiling on that because we all realize that. At the same time, there is something alluring on the in-store experience, right? And that's why I'd like to understand from Sameer, yourself, and Harish, because Sameer, you mentioned, I learned from you today that you're also going into offline touch and fill mode, unmanned outlets, right, which you call. And Harish, of course, you are doing that for ages, right? What do you feel that though e-commerce is growing at a very high pace, but either it's from a cultural or from a human perspective, what are the factors in-store that you believe you started doing now in in-store, Sameer, that are still difficult to be replicated in e-commerce, right? Because that's a good learning for all of us, so that we don't get away and get in that wave so much that we forget that those difficulties part also. And we need to strike that balance which Natasha was mentioning and even Revanki was mentioning.
See, a few categories we had.
That's most of my products.
Correct. Right, so that's where I believe, but you are able to utilize the power of e-commerce a lot still then, correct?
So I want to tell you this, I don't know how many people know this, but Soulflower was started 23 years ago and we started in retail. For me, e-commerce is just a post-corona story.
Right.
I'm a retail दुकान में खड़े होके बेचने वाली person, okay? So I mean, for me, it's a different story, right?
Right.
I have done the retail and now we're doing this. So yes, it is difficult. But let me tell you, and I want to tell you another thing. I still have about 100 stores now. We are shop in shop. We are in pharmacies. In pharmacies, you get trust. Online, people don't trust that much. Right. But you walk into a wellness or you walk into a noble chemist and you see a Soulflower, you will say, okay, ये chemist के पास मिल रहा है, मैं खरीदूंगा. That is a positive. Correct. Second thing is, in the stores, people don't really ask for discount. So we are in retail, in Reliance and things like that. People are not looking for discount. Is more of an experience. And what we've done is I've made a WhatsApp chat where every person who works in my store is supposed to put his customer ka pictures every day. And whoever put the maximum pictures gets some gift. And also so we started collecting a lot of our customer pictures because we all sitting in our offices, we have a very different impression of what our customer is. When you see my customer, I am also surprised. There are little kids. There's somebody who has a helmet in his hand. So I know ye bike pe aaya hai. There are these ladies in a burqa. It blows your mind to understand that. I'm like, shit, mera to shampoo is 600 rupees. Why are they not buying Sunsilk? But they are buying my product, right? So what I'm trying to say is that these people are not even asking for discount. They're not haggling because for them shopping is an experience. So e-commerce can't replicate that family bonding. If they go all together to the mall, the kids are in the little cart, that cannot be replicated and it's not going to die. People had all this fear. It is, you buy it once. So even with perfumes, I think the thing is people don't trust. They think perfumes are fake online. I think that is a lot of thing. But you know what he reminded me of? I don't know now. I don't want to tell you all my age. But we had the little magazines where you open it in the Vogue and you could smell the perfumes. Who remembers that? It just reminded me of that. We need to do that again.
Yeah. So I think I'll tell you one more thing. So how we use technology to sell such kind of brands, right? I remember we did an activity with a fragrance brand with a sampling activity of a 10 ml. Okay, it went to only premium set of customers who are buying, X value more at big basket in one order, or a entire monthly basket is more than X value. So our sample went to the house of those customers. Okay.
Awesome.
So what it does is it makes your product reach the house of the customer, right? So in today's world wherein there are so many brands are there, so much competition is there, making your product reach the house of the customer is the biggest difficult part, right? After that, if the product quality is good, the customer will do a repeat purchase. So what we have used data and brand intelligence is to use that data and identify the target customers, make the product reach as a sample to the customers. What it does is that now the customer will consume it. And if they like it, they will do repeat purchase. And that repeat purchase will happen on Big Basket.
And I think what tech enables him is to decide कि वो perfume किसको बेचना है.
Yes.
भेजना है ना, नताशा तुली को भेजो.
That's true.
Like, उसको मत
That's true.
भेजो.
I think it's always, I always use this fact, it's human cognitive and tech assisted. It should not be ever the other way around. I believe we
See, I was telling you a story, when we were sitting together. I said, why did I buy the first Mac computer? Because I used to run an art gallery in Bangkok and it was white. And I saw this wonderful white screen. It didn't have any of that dabba shabba. It was so sleek. I said, I want this. I didn't even care for the technology that went inside. This is what we have to always think about the customer. Oh, if he's showing a video, the customer wants to see that ghagra. वो क्या video का क्या है tech है, no one cares for it.
Absolutely.
So I think this is, we
agree.
all got to keep that in our mind. It has to be about the convenience of the customer.
Harish, just want to pick up your brain on that because we heard family terms and you are something brand which caters to a family. So to you to understand this in shopping, experience, in store shopping experience, which is hard to replicate on commerce.
So I think mostly you all covered, and it should not replace. It is always better for us, all the brick motas, right? And I would say कि हर चीज़ तो replicate नहीं की जा सकती, that is sure. जो premium चीज़ें हैं, जो experience है, मतलब I have seen lot of people, lot of customers, they are friend, but वो friend भी हमारी store में आके बने, 2 बार 3 बार आए, they met each other and they are friend now. So it only happen in brick and mortar, not at all the online. But yes, what we do, it's not related with this. If we find someone is a lapsed customer, someone is a dormant customer, someone is a one-timer, we send them the coupons, we send them the 1,000 rupees ka 500 ka coupon so they can buy from our .coms. So it is good way to connect offline customer into the online customer. That is out of the way, not related with this question. Yeah.
I think he's brought a good point out because customer there's so much data and so much information you're bombarded with. We all have attention deficit disorder, all of us. So even if you like a product, you may forget. अभी दुकान में आप जाओगे, दुकान तो आपके घर नहीं आ सकती, right? But you could always send things to your customer and remind them, hey, I exist, come meet me.
I agree completely. So Briganki, you have been silent for some time, right? Now, if you see the latest trend, right, we know that, because you are from primarily from FMCG going into a B2B and a B2C, right? So you have seen different types of payments happening in this industry, right, as part of the business. We talk about those conveniences of payments, like in your business, Samir, you have this, EMIs, BNPL, and etc., right? And in your B2B world and B2C world, you have different kind of credit notes and etc., right? Same time, if we have to believe a report from PwC, and it's from PwC, we believe it, around 63% frauds are happening. So want to understand from you, Briganki, as well as Harish, that when you talk about this trust factor of customers, what are the measures that is important? Using the technology, but balancing again with the human factor. Because, if I am paying it and I am trusting a brand and giving my credit card number for an EMI. I had a bad experience with one of the consumer durable brands in my own life. I don't want to name the brand here because we work from IATA with the same brand, just to mention here, right? But we would like to understand that what factors that you take care of and how do you gain that trust?
I think I'm caught with a very technical question. I'll, to my best capacity, try and answer. More from a retailer side, as a category manager, how I understand consumer rather than a tech expert, I will let other panelists to contribute to it. I think when it comes to payment gateways, I think security from tech and data security, ensuring all the end-to-end value chain which is there are properly kind of managed. I don't have expertise to comment on technical part, but as far as customer trust is concerned, what would bridge that gap between trust when they come to your platform and with free mind do purchasing on your platform is the customer service that is there. Their ability to trust on you that if they escalate an issue with you, if they are caught in something, you do respond. You do take responsibility to a whatever best capacity that you can, right? So I think that plays one of the critical factors. Other would be, I would say, not from the security sense, but also how easy the exit becomes from the platform. When you choose a product and you exit, you would want to exit fast. You don't want that process to be frustrating. Whatever top apps are there, whether it is UPI or credit card, which are top selling cards across the country, or any other mode of payment, you would want those top preferred partners to be there on your platform so that you just save your data and exit. It doesn't have to be that process also doesn't have to be lengthy enough that you are putting in all the keywords or the address by yourself. So some predictive learning from the platform has to enable that automatically the data feeds in every time, even if you are logging in from a mobile web page. So your supporting app should be able to feed that data of address, first name, and make it faster. And I think with InstaShop, Instagram, whatever links you find on purchase platforms, what helps personally that I have observed also is that the moment I go and add to cart, they will have a suggestion, okay, autofill the address. Then I know, okay, this is more easy. All I have to do is just punch in my CVV and it's going to be easy. So that first experience obviously establishes quicker conversions for retailers, and it makes your end-to-end time spent for checkout and purchase very fast.
Thanks, Bhumika. I think I was, when we were all looking towards, your inputs, that was more from a consumer perspective,
Sure.
not from a technology perspective.
Okay.
And I think we can summarize your inputs is that the transparency. Transparency is very, very important. The bad experience I had was I was not explained by the consumer durable customer service team that how if I miss one EMI or delayed by few days, how it's going to attack my entire bill for the month, right? Though the amount was very less, couple of $100, but the experience that really counts. So Harish, from your side also, when I'm sure because you are selling big ticket items, you must be providing some lucrative payment options sometimes, right, to people to go for your commodities. So what do you feel, what is important to gain their trust?
So I think if someone can answer, because we are only on cash.
Oh, you are only on cash. Okay, yeah. Then it's my bad.
OMG.
Oh.
So I'll tell you, so a few things which we have done, Sandeep, is that we kept on learning. Okay, so it was a long process of learning. So there are a lot of changes which we did on our CRM. Okay, and we keep on updating our app. There's some updates which are pushed updates, wherein the customer have to update the app by going to the Play Store. So we used to have a login ID and password, email ID and password option, which we moved out of that. Okay, because it's very sensitive. So mobile number and OTP is the best way to manage it right now. And similar with respect to the address and all those things. Okay, wallet payment, if the customer says the order is cancelled, where is the money going back? Okay, so it was initially going to the wallet, and again the customer had to pre-order it, and the customer said, okay, no, I don't want the money in the wallet, I want it to the way I have ordered it. So then we changed that model. We changed it to go back to the source where the payment was done. So if it was done by wallet, it will go to the wallet. If it was done by credit card, it will go to the bank account. If it was done by UPI, it will go to that account. So all these things, the measures is there, and we kept on updating our CRM based on the advancement of the technology.
Very interesting inputs. Wish we could continue for long and long because I have some engaging listeners also. But concluding to come to the conclude part, and we would finish it up around 4 to 4.5 minutes, and then open the floor for the queries. Despite all this growth, let's talk about a little bit of challenges which we still feel. 93% of our population is still in rural. In childhood, you used to read a statement called India is an agricultural country. Right. So we have been born up, at least our generation was born and grew with that statement. But of course, there are infrastructure challenges, limits the connectivity, right, a lot. If we talk about the urban population, mix of population, like if I talk about my parents or even my elder brother, not being able to cope up with the technical changes, if you show an AR, they get nervous. As Natasha, you said, so much of information, they get nervous and grappled out, right? So, like to understand from all of you, that, and you can take the chronological order, is that how do you believe that we should educate, as brand, as responsible brands, we should educate, or rather than the use, we could make the consumers more knowledgeable that, how to tackle these kind of challenges, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's knowledge, right, or whether it's technology or the process, right? Harish, would like to start? Yeah.
So my opinion is different. So, educating the customer, giving them the knowledge, it is better to make your system easy. Simple website में जाओ भाई, वहाँ पे icons हैं, you tick, you go and you pay and you out. That is most, I think, relevant in state of, taking a lot of pains educating the customers. One more challenges that you not mentioned, I think, I'm sure, I know, I don't know, someone is there from the brick and mortar store not. The biggest challenge going from offline to online, it's again a very big challenge. And I have seen in the last 12 years fighting with your own directors. So you are putting money and every board meet you have to stand and you have to say, next time I will go for the अगले बार भाई break even आ जाएगा, उसके बाद we'll go into the pause. So I don't know if someone is there from the break on, the offline store. So I would like to, one thing on that, what I experienced in the last 10 to 12 years, if you are going online, we always keeping online कि offline पहली priority है, online दूसरी priority है. You're not treating that as a business. Treat it as a different business. उसके लिए production, उसके लिए supply chain. जब तक आप सोचोगे इधर से हो जाएगा, omni channel, it is very good. But being omni channel, if you are going into the marketplace, you need depth of the particular pieces. You cannot do कि एक piece साड़ी है, 10 piece साड़ी है, 10 piece Colgate है, and you put on the marketplace. You must have that particular, 50 piece, 100 piece, whatever it would be. So if you are going online, either don't go. If you are going, take it as a business and plan complete for the online. Either it is supply chain, either it is everything. This is the biggest mistake we did, and we wasted more than 7-8 years. Product ही नहीं होता था हमारे पास. So this is one of the challenge what I faced.
Great. Over to you, Mriganki.
I think you mentioned about the barrier from how would you have consumers from urban areas or different age groups participate more online. There are various initiatives I think a lot of retailers are doing. A couple of them are that you go linguistically, you become local, whether it is whatever X number of languages which are there. So on app it is more easier for people to obviously understand what the conversation is about. And to what my fellow colleague mentioned about making it easier. Obviously, the entire UI UX on the app has to be very simple, very intuitive, so that they can just scroll through. Interesting point is that post-COVID, what we have started seeing is also a surge in adoption by people above 45 years, which was earlier much, much lower. If I remember the data correct, it would be around 15% to 17 or maybe 20% before COVID, and it's now increased to almost touching around 38%. So this particular generation has adopted out of force, and now they are used to. They are not scaling back to their old ways of doing, shopping. So that has done the thrust, and it's, making us also think about how do you become inclusive about age. So one would be the local language, other would be the search. We covered it earlier in the conversation the speech related, the image recognition, for search, how do you make it more easy? So it becomes easier. Other things which are there in tier 2 or tier 3, there are certain initiatives taken wherein you would have one person, because that works in a community, setup. There'll be one smart person in the village. He will have, let's say, an iPad or whatever phone with user interface of an app. He becomes the go-to man of people. They go to his house, look at the, particular app, take his help, place the product. This guy becomes aggregator of the products and then supply. I think Dealshare, if City Mall is doing that initiative, if I'm not wrong. It's largely based in north and, east part of the country. A budding business, but that's the model they were talking to us about, and we found it very interesting because it really goes to the psyche of that particular geography and how it makes people comfortable with using tech. Other is last point I'll want to wrap up with, because I think this whole adoption of rural consumers to e-commerce platforms is largely happening with the generation which is aspirational, whether they want to be seen in a certain way, because social media is playing a big role. And the categories that work for them is either a wearable tech, which is there, whether a headphone or a smartphone, or largely the fashion apparels. So they'll go and try like 150 rupees ka shirt, they look nice and all of that. So that becomes very easy for those guys to do these low value purchases. So that helps for adoption. So these are various methods, and I think tech in the end has to be easy for people to use rather than being more complicated.
Right. Quickly take the input from Natasha and then Samir.
He said quickly first. Just 3 points. I'll just say 3 points. One thing is, I don't see anything as a challenge. I see it as an opportunity to grow. So it's not a challenge for me. I'm so excited hearing that these things are there. So, it's just, you can do new things every day. Like I told you, I get up every day and I think, okay, yesterday this was wrong. So it's just an opportunity to grow. Second thing is, I think rather than trying to get customer to change to your style, you change to their style. WhatsApp never needed, when WhatsApp came, they never had any advertisement, right? Everybody had WhatsApp. कभी कुछ WhatsApp का ad देखा, आजकल देख रही हूँ, पहले नहीं देखा था. So WhatsApp never, it just went viral because it was so easy to adopt. So go where people are. If people are on WhatsApp, go on WhatsApp. If people are not on emails, forget emails. You've got to be where the customer is. You go there, don't bring him to you. That's the second thing. And the last thing is, as he spoke about experience, like you walk into a store, you get chocolate, you get some nice khushbu, you get some nice AC. When we design for the customer thinking कि वो mobile पे देखने वाला है. Most of the websites are designed for people, even I've seen in my office, you design it for a desktop. Desktop use कौन करता है? People don't even have a desktop in their house. They're buying everything on the mobile. I have stopped even using my laptop. I do everything on my mobile. So design for the medium in which the customer is going to view your product. And don't, again, like he said, now I've seen so many stores, they have these images of the choli ka top or the ghagra, they say white paper pe. What does that help me? So, that's what I'm saying. Design for the customer in the medium that he's going to see. That's it. 3 things.
Agreed.
Stop.
Very important points. What do you say quickly?
Yeah. So see, T2, T3 were once a challenge for us. Okay. Post-COVID, things have changed. Pre-COVID, I'll tell you, there were customers when we inquired, why don't you order online and all. So one thing I'll share with everybody. So a woman said कि अगर मैं ग्रोसरीज ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर करूंगी तो मेरी सास क्या सोचेगी कि मैं इतनी आलसी हूं कि मैं बाजार जाके सब्जी में नहीं खरीद सकती, राइट? एंड दैट वाज द फीडबैक व्हिच केम प्री कोविड. नाउ थिंग्स हैव चेंज्ड पोस्ट कोविड. नाउ T2, T3 customers are ordering online. There was vast opportunity for them. We have assortment for them, dedicated for them. So okay, that has changed. With respect to technology, one more thing which has happened is that I understand the technology has to be simple, right? So we interact with farmers base. So we don't ask them to use or operate an app. We don't ask them. What we have done is we have created an app which is, we use a geo-tagging of the premises, when the sowing and plowing and done, all those things. So information is fed in the app. It will just help a farmer to understand just by reading it. It should be as simple as the Instagrams and WhatsApp of the world, that which doesn't have a big instruction manual, right? People just can easily use it. It should be as simple as that. I remember the dialogue from a Bawarchi movie of Rajesh Khanna, old dialogue, which is, it's so difficult, it's so happy to be simple, but so simple to be difficult, right? So sorry, I confused it.
That's fine. We have got it. we have absolutely got
okay,
it.
the timer actually.
That's okay. I know the time is up. Hitesh, can I take 1 or 2 questions? One question. So I'd open the floor for one question from the audience. I think the lady who wanted to ask a question, I stopped you. So sorry for that time. If you can please go ahead.
So did we already answer?
Yeah,
You already, okay, we already answered. Okay, then,
Yeah, hi, I'm Surbi from Blitz, we're a logistics company. I think my question is, I think Sameer would back me up. The generation that is coming in is so used to 30-minute delivery. And you guys have made everything available with every category that is present, that the generation wants apparels, cosmetics, everything in less than 30 minutes. And the generation that is going to come in would want apparels also from you. So how have you decided to plan that? Is it something that is coming up right now? How are you solving it?
I have an answer. I'm asking Modi to make better roads.
Anything that you would like to add, just for me to understand, how logistics is working? Is the customer still reacting for quicker delivery because he's getting everything from Big Basket, Zepto, etc. that are there in the market?
I didn't get you. What was your
So the generation these days, I think post-COVID, we have so many apps offering different categories in less than 30 minutes, be it books, be it cosmetics, be it groceries, right? Is the customer also adapting to apparels for a quicker delivery? That I have an event say tomorrow and I would want your dress and I really like it. And how are you solving it now?
So, so if I'm talking about the big events, now everyone is more planned as before.
Okay.
So people were buying शादी का कपड़ा पहले 15 दिन पहले. अभी girls and boys are planning 6 months back, 4 months back. So you all are more planned.
Okay.
मुझे नहीं लगता. And now what we are doing, we are giving delivery in 45 days.
Okay.
60 days.
Okay.
Because everyone wants customize. इधर ब्लाउज में ये चाहिए, इधर घाघरे में ये वाला नहीं चाहिए.
Okay.
So it need time because everything is handwork.
Okay, understood.
So yeah. Thank you.
So, see, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
If you ask, you want to live a good life, you will say yes.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody will say yes.
Yeah.
So, quick delivery will be, everybody wants it, right?
Yeah.
It should be feasible. Right? मैं अपना पेट काट के कब तक customer को खुश करते रहूँगा, right?
Yeah.
So, I think I'll tell you one super app which Tata New has it, right?
Yeah.
That has all, airlines also, hospitality
Yeah.
also, Big Basket
Yeah.
also. Now, what will happen is it will give us more information data. What are products which are very high sellers, which customers demanding more.
Okay.
If it is demanding more, then we'll make it available. For example, headphones and accessories will
Yeah.
soon be available across for
Exactly.
15-20 minutes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Soon t-shirts might be there. Maybe a white polo neck t-shirt or a V-neck t-shirt might be soon available, for a quicker delivery. So things will change definitely after the integration happens. Things will change.
Yeah.
One thing sorry.
So I like to say that yes, we are on Zepto and Blinkit and we
Yeah.
are growing like 300-400%.
Yeah.
So last year I started with gift.
Yeah.
Like we have these gifting things and you want to go to someone and you suddenly realize मेरे पास कोई gift नहीं है.
Exactly.
I'll never like to go empty handed, right?
Yeah.
So that's the campaign that mummy ने बोला कभी खाली हाथ नहीं जाना. I mean,
Exactly.
that was my campaign.
Yeah.
And we are selling gift sets for Rakhi, for Diwali
Yeah.
and all that on Zepto.
Yeah.
And people can get it in 15 minutes. So the secret for brands like me is because if I try to do it myself, I can't do it. I can't afford it. So use all these highly funded Zepto, Blinkit and all
Okay.
these people,
Yeah.
Swiggy and the Zeptos and the Zomatos of the world to make your product reach people in 15 minutes. वो जाएंगे कोई और आएंगे.
Got
But
it.
that's the idea.
Okay.
And people are wanting it. What you're right.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to add, everything is going omni-channel. अभी आप मार्केट प्लेस में जाएंगे, ओमनी चैनल को फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी है. सो दे आर गेटिंग ऑर्डर्स. इफ इट ऑर्डर्स फ्रॉम द से मुंबई, द नियर बाय स्टोर विल डिलीवर दैट.
Yeah.
So it will save the time, it will save the energy,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
That is happening, and that is
Got it.
going to be the future.
Understood. Yeah. Thank you.
so with that, I would like to thank the entire panelists and also very captive audience, right? They're also available after this session, and myself too at our booth. So please feel free to come to us and we can discuss. Yeah.